Okay, so my team and I, we started working on the vacant lot beautification of Mariners Harbor. On the next slide, you guys will be able to see the table of contents. Yeah, so it's just brief overview of what's going to be everything on the presentation. For the introduction, we are working again on the vacant lot at Mariners Harbor, located in Staten Island. It will be a beautification. We are currently thinking about a flower/community garden. It is located at the intersection of Van Name Avenue and Netherland Avenue in a residential area.
Okay, so
Okay.
our goal is to incorporate a new community-based program or design that into the vacant lot in Mariners Harbor, ultimately to help bring the community together. Even though they are pretty close in terms of like where each house is located, we still feel that because there's any type of like there's a lack of activity in the neighborhood, we want to do something that will help bring them all together. So some of the factors that we took into consideration when starting our thinking process for potential ideas and designs was the residents. You know, how will our plans affect the noise, the pedestrian traffic, public interactions, as well as safety. How will people's activities within this lot play a part into the safety of the community? Safety always comes first, whether it's like physical safety or even something with this virus going around. We still have to make sure everyone is safe and cautious. And ultimately, as I said, we still wanted to bring the community together as a whole. So, we've touched on this in the past, but some of our ideas included a reserve lot, a flower garden, a playground, and kind of like a drive-in movie theater in a way. And we've had our pros and our cons. For example, we came to a consensus on the flower garden, so I'll speak on that specifically. But some pros that we had is we said it will give the neighborhood a nice aesthetic by adding bright colors to all of the surrounding greenland, and it's also eco-friendly. If you look at the vacant lot, it lacks a lot. It lacks color. It's just very brown, white, gray, and green. And yeah, that's it. We wanted to kind of give it some color to help give it some more life. But some cons would be that some of the surrounding residents may not want to keep up with the garden. And I also added that during the summer certain insects may be attracted to the plants, and that may cause a problem. This is just a mood board of our ideas. So you can see we have at least some images of each idea, and we also included some images of the vacant lot that we gathered from Google Maps and Google Earth. So as we said, we came to my team and I came to a consensus with the flower garden, and we want to make it a community effort. And these are just some images that inspired our thinking process.
So while researching on what our flower or community garden would look like, we included 3 architectural precedent studies. This first one being Norboris by Vega Landscape, which is a landscape architecture program located in Denmark. And this is actually a renovated courtyard between 2 residential buildings, which I specifically took pictures of the sitting area, which is surrounded by greenery, which is something I'd like to include in this lot just because it is a residential area. Next. For the second one, this is actually here in New York City. This is the Industry City by Terrain, also a landscape architecture program. And this is actually also located between 2 very busy buildings in New York City. And for this one, I really like the walkway that this has, especially because it is surrounded by the greenery, which in the vacant lot, it does have 2 roads that it does lead to. So I thought it would be a great thing to have like a walkway between the lot and what they having surrounding greenery.
Okay, so this was my precedent study. I actually got this first study that you see on your left hand side from Pinterest from an architect named Mohammed Mubarak. The reason I included it, the reason I wanted to focus on this study was kind of like similar to what Myra said, how it has a lot of greenery, but also having a lot of walkways. at first. But for me, the initial reason why I chose it was because of how spacious it is, and it looks like a garden or like a park, while still having that lounge area for, or it just looks very pedestrian friendly, like somewhere where people can still go there and enjoy themselves and hang out. And I even wrote a note in my on my own opinion, giving my own analysis of the on the study. I said that I took a look at my team member Mayra Gomez president study, and I like the fact that she included that she got pictures where they had like benches, if you can see, and from the 1 2 slides ago, and I said I wanted to include that, and before we could add that in the walkway space. Now, on the other president study, on your right hand side, you can see that this one includes a greenhouse. Phil, the greenhouse would not probably, it will be very essential for our garden. And also another thing about this study was that it also had walkways. And if you can see on the image on the far right, it has plants in a bucket that are above the ground to kind of help give the design some height. So that's why I chose those two. So this
Again, this
is
is just emphasizing the residential area surrounding the vacant lot and how many houses are actually surrounding. There are some other parks in that same area, but for that reason, we do want to include some sort of flower or community garden for this lot.
So I was in charge of the zoning aspects of it all. As Myra said, this is a residential area. I actually got this information from oasisnyc.net. So as you can see, the area where the vacant lot is in is a R3A. The R stands for residential, and as you've seen in the previous slide, the whole entire neighborhood is a residential area as it's filled with 1 and 2 family homes.
This is the sun path direction, and I try to gather the data from the summertime just to see when the garden will thrive. And this is also really crucial information because we will be dealing with a lot of the soil and the sunlight.
These are the traveling methods to get to and from the vacant lot. So if you're traveling by car, if you're not currently in Staten Island and you're one of the other boroughs, you'll have to pay a toll. There is no train or buses in Staten Island that take you towards the vacant lot area. And for the boat and ferry, you can get to Staten Island through the St. George Ferry Terminal, and if you were walk, it would be around 2 hours to get there. But if you drove from the ferry, it would be 20 minutes. I went ahead and got the distances from specific areas around Staten Island. So I did from the vacant lot. I got all the bridges around the area and the miles and time on time through car to get to the vacant lot. The main tourist area I got was Statue of Liberty. From the vacant lot, just because there's be a lot of tourists over there, and then nearby parks of the vacant lot are Mariners Harbor, Richmond Terrace Park, Mariners Marsh Park, the Big Park, and Faber Park, which are all in close proximity of the vacant lot.
Okay, so this is another side that I was in charge of, the utilities. So I said we as a team have come to the consensus of doing a flower garden, as we've already established that before. So with the flower garden, two main things that any plants need is water and sunlight. So as far as the water goes, we decided that maybe a sprinkler system would be best to kind of help. We feel it would work more faster, more efficiently to have all the plants get the necessary water that they need. So I included a picture of that. But later on, we've also thought about like maybe having some type of sewer or drainage system that would kind of still water the plants without the need of sprinklers. And as far as the light goes, we were thinking about having these light posts that you could see on the far right hand side in the middle of the 3 pictures on that side is a light post that lies within the plants. So I was giving them even more direct light. And but if an alternative to that was light posts that are above the plant. So either way, we feel those two options work the best.
This is just a rough AutoCAD drawing of the top view of the vacant lot that I created. Um, as you can see, yeah, it's pretty straightforward. You'll be seeing a more detailed drawing that I created later.
So, in conclusion, with our initial proposal being a movie theater playground in a reserved lot for specifically for lounging spaces, my team and I have come to the consensus that a flower garden would be best. We found information about the area's zoning classification, which will help us with our design process. We even created a sun path that shows parts of the vacant lot that are most exposed to sunlight, which will, of course, also help us in our design process. We also calculated the travel distances and durations for different traveling methods from into the open space on Van Name at the intersection of Van Name and Netherland Avenue. Thank you for listening.
Before we take any questions, I just wanted to show you the AutoCAD drawing that I'm currently working on right now. This is for the vacant lot. Um, it's not fully done. I still have to do the buildings, the surrounding buildings on the other blocks, but for the Van Name Avenue block, this is the buildings as well as the heights based on their floor levels, and the green right here is the vacant lot.